Good morning. Our lesson for today is about solving quadratic equations by graphing. Already you studied how to graph quadratic equation. Now how to use it to solve the quadratic equation. To solve an equation means to find the value or the values of the variable in it. When the quadratic equation is equal to 0, which means they replace the y by 0, we have to find the value or the values of x when y equals to 0. Look at this quadratic equation. They replaced here the y by 0, which means I have to find the values of x when y equals to 0. In the graph, which points their y is 0, any point in the x-axis, its y is 0. This means that the solution of the quadratic equation is the intersection between the parabola and the x-axis, which is called the x-intercept. So any point at the x-axis, its y equals to 0, and that's what do I want. The value or the values of x are called the solutions, the roots, or the zeros. All the three words, they mean the same thing. Look at this parabola. It intersects the x-axis at 2 points. This point, for example, is 2, 0. Its y is 0. This means the solution of x is 2. This point is negative 2, 0. Its y is 0, so the value of x is negative 2. Usually, there are 2 points of intersection between the parabola and the x-axis, which means 2 x-intercepts, so 2 solutions for the quadratic equation. This is the first example here. There are 2 points of intersection, 2 x-intercepts, this means 2 solutions. And this is the general case. This is another example. It doesn't matter at all if the parabola is opening upward or downward. All what do I care for is to find the x-intercepts. So here I have also 2 x-intercepts, which means 2 solutions. In some cases, there is only one x-intercept, which means only one solution. Look at this example. The vertex is exactly at the x-axis, so the parabola intersects the x-axis at one point. This means there is one and only one solution for x. This is another example. The vertex is at the x-axis, so one point of intersection, one x-intercept, which means one solution only. In very few cases, the quadratic equation has no solution. If the parabola does not intersect the x-axis, the first example, if the vertex is above the x-axis and it opens upwards, so this is the lowest point. The parabola can never be lower. It can never reach the x-axis, so no solution. Another example, if the vertex is below the x-axis and the parabola is opening downwards, this means this is the highest point, the maximum point in the parabola. It cannot reach the x-axis, so no solution since there is no x-intercept. Some examples. Identify the solutions of negative x squared plus 2x equals to 0. This is the graph for this equation. In the graph, it's obvious that I have 2 x-intercepts, 2 points of intersection with the x-axis, which means 2 solutions. Both of these points, they have y equals to 0. So the solutions are x equals to 0, this is the first point, and x equals to 2, the second solution. To check, to make sure that those values are correct, just go and replace here x by 0. You will find that the answer is 0. Then replace it by 2, negative, between brackets 2, the square is outside, plus 2, bracket 2 equals, you'll find that it's equals to 0. If you try to replace any other value other than 0 and 2, the equation will not work. It will not be equal to 0. Another example. Identify the solutions of x squared minus 2x plus 1 equals to 0. This is the graph for this equation. I have here only one point of intersection with the x-axis, only one x-intercept, which means only one solution, which is 1. X equals to 1. Again, to check, replace the x by 1, substitute it here. 1 squared minus 2 times 1 plus 1 equals 0. If you try any other value, it will not give you a 0. Now, what if the equation is given to you x squared minus 6x plus 8 equals to 0, and I tell you solve by graphing? The graph is not given to you. All what you have to do is to graph it by yourselves following the 4 steps that they were explained in the previous lessons. Step 1, pick out A, B, and C. Step 2, find x of the vertex. Then draw and complete table of values. Remember to put x of the vertex in the middle, 2 points before it, 2 points after it. Plot the points and join them to get the parabola. This is the parabola. Now I can take out the solutions or the roots or the zeros. It's the same meaning. I have here two solutions, x equals 2 and x equals to 4. To check, substitute each of the values of x in the given equation. The result must be 0. So you replace here instead of x 2, and then the next time you replace the 4. For example, again here I give you only the equation without the graph, without the parabola. You have to go through the 4 steps, pick out A, B, and C, find x of the vertex, complete the table of values. Don't forget x of the vertex in the middle, 2 points before it, 2 points after it. Plot the points and join them to get the parabola. You will find here that you have negative 3, 5. It doesn't reach the x-intercept. So what you have to do here is to add in the table of values negative 4 from this side, 2 from this side. If it's not enough, you add one more number from each side until you find the point that intersects the x-axis. So here the x-intercepts are negative 4 and 2. You have two solutions. To check, just substitute instead of x negative 4, the answer is going to be 0, and then the 2, the answer is also going to be a 0.